Hey, what's up YouTube? This is BrandoMcWilli here. Just kind of wanted to show you some stuff that we're going to do here, and also to give you a kind of a brief review on a, I guess you call it a sub gun. This one happens to be the Kel-Tec SUB2000. We have some things planned for this particular firearm. I was going to kind of go over what we're doing, and as well as giving you a brief review of the firearm before we make some of the modifications to it. Because I also kind of want to show you some stuff from the before and after as well. So, Nothing Fancy just posted a very nice, long, lengthy review of the Kel-Tec SUB2000, and you know, he really put it through its paces. And I wish I had the facilities to do the kind of stuff that he does. You know, unfortunately, I just don't. But a buddy of mine that I had recently met has kind of gotten an interest into Kel-Tecs, and what we're doing is we're actually going to put a rail system, the indexing rail system from RedLion Precision, on this particular firearm, and also change out the front sights. So, but I kind of wanted to give you guys an update of what the gun looks like before we do all that stuff. So here we go. So for those of you who don't know, this right here is the Kel-Tec SUB2000. This one is the Glock 17 model, or the version, and it is folded up now. And you basically, you look at this particular firearm, it's not very long at all. Here's a pair of pliers. You can kind of see the distance. I don't have any tape right here to actually measure it, but you can kind of see that it's really not that big of a firearm at all. Matter of fact, if I take out my 1911 that I'm carrying today, then you can kind of see that, you know, it's not that much at all right there. So, folded up, it's very small, and I like it folded up. I like storing it folded up like that. So keep that in mind a little bit later when I start talking about the RedLion stuff that we're looking at doing. My buddy who is getting the stuff from RedLion and putting this stuff on, one thing that he was really concerned with was basically making sure that it folded up and making sure it stayed compact. So that was the reason why we looked at that particular product. And that the product that we're talking about is actually the Forend. But I'll talk to that in just a second. So the cool thing about it is that it does take Glock 17 magazine. So if you take a look at, and it comes with a 10-round magazine, and if you take a look at things like putting together systems and that sort of thing, this particular version would go perfectly with a Glock 17, of course. You can get a Glock 22 model, you can get the Beretta 96 or Beretta 92 models as well. They still shoot 9mm or 40 caliber, but basically it takes the magazines of your secondary firearm, if your secondary firearm happens to be the 17, 22, 92, or 96. And the cool thing about this particular model, being the Glock 17 model, is that, you know, you can use the 33-round Glock 18 mags, and they just fit perfectly into the SUB2000. So this thing is extremely light. It doesn't weigh much of anything. Most of its weight is actually here into the tube. Okay, and this is basically your bolt handle here. Here's your safety, and here's your mag release. Your front sight will automatically pop up as when you fold it out, and the actual tube inside here was your recoil spring, and you have a tube in here as well that houses the spring. It's actually in two pieces, and basically what you do is you take this retaining pin out here, this plastic piece comes off on the back, everything comes out the back, including the bolt, and you can take everything apart and clean it that way. So when you're cocking this, you basically pull this back here, and that's how you load around into the chamber. There's also a notch here that lets you lock it in place if you want to do that as well. To fold this up, basically what you do is you pull down here on the trigger guard, and it'll fold up quite nicely and lock into place. Okay, so the front sight, or the rear sight, is just a peep sight. Okay, not that big of a deal. The front sight is the bladed sight, okay, where you can make adjustments on windage and on elevation by undoing these set screws here, okay, and it gives you a tool to do that with, and you can move that up and down to adjust your sight. Has a nice sling attachment here, and not really any sling attachment up front, but we're going to be changing that on this particular firearm anyway. This gun has probably had somewhere in the range of 200, 250 rounds probably put through it at this particular point in time. This is fairly new, and like I said, my buddy and I, we decided to kind of change this around a little bit. One thing that we're going to be doing is adding like a quad rail, okay, but it's not really going to be a quad rail. It's going to be a semi-quad rail. And if you go to Kel-Tec's website, you can actually buy a quad rail for this, I think for $97 or something like that, or right at $100. And it's a two-piece, and it comes down and bolts on. There are some issues from what I've read where it has you need some Loctite on the screws because some of the screws come undone as you go. If you look at Nut and Fancy's video, he has a Vortex strike fire on top of his rail, and it says it co-witnesses absolutely and runs perfectly. He's also done, I think, a couple of other things by putting maybe some extensions on this tube to make it fit his cheek a little bit better. There's like a little rubber piece there, and I forget exactly where he said he got that from. All in all, what we're going to do is we're going to put on the aluminum forend that is provided by RedLion Precision. Now that aluminum forend requires that we take off the front sight, so I will have to take this front sight off permanently, but it will be replaced by the RedLion front sight. So I guess I kind of want you guys to stay tuned to see what we actually do. So this is kind of sort of a preemptive video just to show what we're going to do to this particular sub gun right here. So if you guys have any experience with this or know of any goods or bads on this particular gun, please post a comment. I'm going to kind of leave the video at this right now. It's kind of a short video for me, but I kind of want to show the installation of the RedLion products. We're very excited about getting that in and actually putting it on the gun, and then going and shooting it. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, enjoy the video. If you like anything else you see, please subscribe. I know I kind of rambled on this one, but maybe I'll go back and redo it at a later date. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.